Hey, Grand Risings. Hope you're having a blessed day. It's beautiful here, it's sunny, it's warm. It's quite hot. We did actually attempt to make this video further up. And the reason why I wanted to make it further up was because the sun was on it, and in the sunshine you can see all the damselflies and the moths flying around better than you can here in the shade. But Athena was getting quite hot and bothered, and she was making a bit of a nuisance of herself, and I attempted to start the video about 25 times, and every single time I tried she just knocked the camera over, got in the way, started rolling about everywhere, and yeah, it was just, so we decided to move. And we've started the video here, but if you stay till the end, I will put in all the little bloopers of Athena attempting to get my attention that she's too hot and she needs to move. And oh wow, quite beautifully as I sit here now, there is a buzzard just circling over, which was one of the reasons why I brought you to this beautiful space. So this meadow is absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I seem to have picked the time when the school are using the sports field just behind. So there's like a school over that way, I think, and they kind of like use the sports field. So normally I come here and it's really quiet and you can't hear anything, but you might hear them shouting, but that's okay. But normally when I come here, I'm always blown away by like how peaceful and serene and quiet it is, despite the fact that it's surrounded. There's like a main road over that way, there's like a sports field here, there's a school like that way, there's a housing estate behind like that way, but then this little space is like completely like surrounded by trees, and the whole meadow is just allowed to grow wild. There's like loads of little trees in here that are doing their thing. There's, every time I come, there's just like, I see a new like sort of thing that I've never seen before, like a new insect or a new moth, or like today I've seen a new fly, like a kind of big fly that I've never seen before. It was pretty cool. It was like a weird shape, like it wasn't a weird shape, it was just not a fly shape, but it was a fly. And I've seen like a new species of moth, a new like a damselfly that I've never seen before. I did manage to capture them, which was pretty cool. And when I've come like in the dawning for walks and runs and stuff, like I've seen herons nearly every single time flying over. There's rabbits here as well, which is beautiful. And not far away is like where I saw all the froglets, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I love this space, and I thought you might enjoy it and appreciate it too, and enjoy seeing it. It's just a shame we can't get it in the sun. She gave me like the biggest side eye then. But that's okay. You're getting some hot wind really. So the reason why I wanted to make this video today is because today I'm having a very muchly needed day off, a day of respite, a day of just being, because over sort of like the last 4-5 months, I suppose, since we moved into the new house, like my routine has completely changed, and I wanted to sort of add on to a couple of videos that I've made. I think one of them was like New Year's, when I was sort of speaking about how New Year was not the right time to implement new routines. It wasn't the time to sort of like start going to the gym and like being really active. It was actually the perfect time to start dropping off like old habits. I'm going to keep getting distracted by that buzzard. Try not to look at it. And then there's a butterfly, there's two. Anyway, so it's a perfect time to start dropping off old habits, and that's pretty much what I did, I suppose, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the other video was one, I think it was during Ramadan, I think it was, or it might have just been just after, where I talked about how like my routine had really changed, like my sleeping patterns, like my eating patterns, my like I'd not been drinking coffee because like we were getting up really early, eating, and then like I wanted to go back to sleep for an hour, and like obviously you can't do that with coffee. Like, you can't go back to sleep if you just had a coffee. So it was just, everything was really different. And then I wasn't drinking coffee at night because obviously I wanted to sleep. And so one of the things that I dropped off during Ramadan was caffeine. So I didn't drink caffeine for the whole period of time. And then when it finished, it was just like, oh, like I've been like 30 days without caffeine. I might as well just like continue not drinking caffeine. So, that was a pretty big thing for me, because the only time, I can't remember the last time that I was caffeine free. It's been, a big part of my life, caffeine, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty difficult. Like, to start with, I was getting really bad headaches and my concentration was absolutely shit. Like, really bad. But one of the other things I gave up, and I'm really proud of myself, was, so in November, just gone, one of the things that I was trying to drop off was smoking. So I had given up smoking for over 7 years. Over 7 years I'd given up smoking. I had been smoking for a very long time before that. Like, I'd been smoking since I was a child, really. I was 9, 10. I started smoking. It was really bad. And it was quite a big thing for me to actually finally give up. And I gave up 7 years. I gave up. And then my teenagers started smoking. And then I entered into a relationship where my partner was smoking. And so I was all of a sudden surrounded by smokers again. And I don't want to fling the word traumatic around like unnecessarily, but up until like the last sort of 6 months, maybe 5 months, I would say the 3 years previous to that has been really traumatic, like extremely traumatic. It has been one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And thankfully I'm quite a positive person, and I think I tend to take a lot of things in my stride. And it just got really like quite intense, and I ended up smoking again. There's no excuses for it, really. I mean, I was fully accountable. I'm not going to blame my being surrounded. I'm just giving you like a full scope of the situation. I didn't just like all of a sudden decide to go out and buy cigarettes. There was just people everywhere smoking, and and so I started smoking again. And I didn't want to see it as a bad habit, because actually, really it's about habits that don't serve us. So, some habits can serve you and some don't. For some people, those habits aren't, like a bad habit to one person might not be a bad habit to another person. But if it's not serving you, then that's the point, right? And I suppose at the time, smoking was serving me. It was, there was a lot. And unfortunately, I noticed the bad effects on my health like quite soonish after I started smoking. But I think the stress was probably going to do me more harm at that point, like with my fibromyalgia and my hypermobility, and just trying to be a carer to people, and being a parent, and experiencing not only my own sort of trauma, but attempting to care for and parent my children through their trauma as well, and just be able to function. And my music and my poetry were definitely massive helpers. They definitely got me through, and I cannot, recommend enough that if you're going through really stressful periods, pick up a pen. It doesn't have to be poetic, it doesn't have to be arty. You don't have to show it to everyone, just, maybe pick it up. Just see how writing feels. But anyway, so those were kind of a couple of habits that I dropped. And then when we moved, having the new garden has kind of meant that in order to fit everything in, I've had to completely restructure my whole day. So before, I would get up early and I would like take a good hour to sit with my coffee, just observe the garden. With it being wild, like there wasn't really anything I had to do with the garden, so that didn't take up a lot of my time. And then I would do my yoga, and then the kids would get up, and taking that time for myself, that passive meditation where I was sort of like doing nothing but I was observing, it was no longer an option if I wanted to implement the things that I wanted to. So I wanted to implement quite a lot of things. I wanted to start growing my own food more, which meant that the garden needed a lot more attention. After Ramadan, I wanted to start doing more intermittent fasting, because funnily enough, and we didn't think this was going to happen when we were actually engaging with Ramadan, we were like, oh my God, I can't wait to the time when I can just eat when I want and do what I want. Like at the times I don't have to get up early. And one of the things that I didn't think I would drop was coffee altogether. Like I didn't think caffeine. I didn't think, I was like, oh, I can't wait to be able to just have a proper coffee. And actually, I was like, well, I might as well just leave it. And then when we stopped fasting, it was like, I actually quite miss Ramadan. I actually quite miss fasting. And my son was the same. He was like, yeah, I do as well, actually, funnily enough. So what we started doing was implementing intermittent fasting throughout our days. So that means like my dawning structure is completely different. I don't get up straight away and have coffee anymore and sit in the garden. Like I do more active meditation. And there was a point where it was like, am I kind of giving in to the daily grind? Like, am I sort of doing things unnecessarily, trying to keep busy? Like, and actually it wasn't that. It was that I wanted to sort of implement the things that I wanted to do. And there was, I can't do with the whole thing, like I don't have time, that phrase, I don't have time, because actually if we really want to do something, we'll find time, we will find time. And so what I tried to do was look at my dawnings as like having active meditation, like especially with like after the wool processing, you know, like the wool processing video where I was kind of getting up and I was processing the wool. That was an active meditation, and I found that my brain reacted totally different to the active meditation. So okay, so how can I implement, you know, active meditation into my day and get some jobs done? So one of the things I started doing was like watering the garden first thing. It was sort of using the time, like, because I hadn't got around to getting like a hose pipe or anything, and we'd started doing like cold plunges as well. Like, so at the time I was doing them in the bath and I was feeling like really bad about using so much water. So I was like trying to do it in the most like eco way possible. I was like, right, if you have a bath at night, leave the water in and I'll use it as a cold plunge in the dawning, and then I'll water the plants with it. And so like, I don't know if anyone's ever tried watering their plants with a whole bathtub of water. So I was getting a big pot and I was taking it outside and I was watering all the plants like really carefully, because I didn't want to like erode all the soil or like displace any like seedlings or seeds. And sort of doing that and then going, well, okay, so this is a bit like a workout, and it is actually also active meditation. Because the workout was like, by the time I'd like bent, I was squatting, I was lifting up the water, I was carrying out, I was engaging my core. It was actually quite difficult. Like my back and my core got like sort of a really good workout doing that. And so that's what I started doing there. And then I relented in the end, and got a cold plunge pool, which has been one of the best things I've ever invested in. It really wasn't that expensive considering like the value that it's going to give me. So me and my son, when we were looking at intermittent fasting, we started looking at other things that sort of like lowered your blood sugar, sort of helped, you know, obviously, as I was talking about the trauma that we've been experiencing, it has been like non-stop. One of the things that came up about cold plunging was intermittent fasting, was that it actually helps sort of get rid of like shitty cells in your body, and a lot of those cells will probably be holding trauma. And so it's like, oh, look at this, like if we start doing intermittent fasting and we fast for this long, like it starts to sort of get rid of like different. I'll actually put a link into it, like into the description, about intermittent fasting. And like we looked at this amazing thing about like hour by hour, like 12 to 16 hours and 16 to 24 hours and all this, and what your body actually starts doing. And one of the big things for me was like getting rid of like sort of diseases and like viruses, and it was also about sort of clearing trauma and sort of helping regulate my body, like through the fibro. Like it does change, it doesn't just stay as one condition, it changes, and so how I approach it has to change too. And so I invested in the cold plunge pool, which has been amazing. So I've been doing cold plunges every day. It does work out better than using the bath, because I think in the cold plunge, I worked it out, I think it holds about 2.5 bathfuls, and it can last for about a week before I have to clean it out. So I'm saving about 4.5 tubs of water and I can still water the plants with it when I clean it out. So, and I get to do it in the garden, which is even better. I get to do my cold plunge, like with the sky, and I did it, or doing it in the rain is pretty cool as well. That's like a new experience. And I spend between sort of 5 and 10 minutes in there, depending on how I'm feeling, like what my timing is, like my day and how that's going, and just sort of how my body wants to feel, I suppose, which has been pretty cool, like another way of listening to my body. And I think there was like 1, maybe 2 times over the last 2 months that maybe I haven't been able to cold plunge, and I really missed it. Like I get up and I'm like, oh, the cold, I'm going to be getting in the cold plunge, but then I know that if I don't do it, I'm going to really, like, I'm going to miss it, and I'm going to want to do it. And so that was something, you know, trying to like, that is definitely an active meditation. Although I'm just sitting in cold water, like I am having to sort of be with my body very muchly, and it is getting easier, and I'm actually really looking forward now to when it gets colder and the water gets colder, and I might do like maybe another separate video on the cold plunging. I don't know. I'm quite random and sporadic with what I choose to sort of talk about and film and, you know, life. And so yeah, so I've been like trying to do the gardening. The garden, by the way, is coming along amazingly. I've definitely need to do like a little catch up on that, because it's just gone and like everything is growing. Like I'm eating salads every day, like and I don't just mean like a bit of lettuce. There's different lettuces. There's like there's oriental salads, which are quite spicy. There's rocket, and they're amazing, because like I'm not going to talk too much about the garden actually, because I want to do a separate video about that. But anyway, I'm like, yeah, I'm eating salads every day. We had our first little harvest yesterday, I think, of like pak choi, monge tu, kale and chard. Oh my gosh, amazing. So I've been like doing little jobs in the garden, like trying to do like meditative jobs, like weeding or watering or picking, like cutting salads, and that is quite, cutting grass as well, because there's a portion of it that doesn't have any like bark chips on it at the minute. I still need to get another load. I need another load. But just things like that is like, so I'm still in the garden and I'm still able to witness the birds, but I'm not just sitting and observing. And it is really different, because my brain kind of shuts off a little bit. Whereas in the passive, like it's kind of like, it's this beautiful duality where like the passive meditation brings a more active mind, and the active meditation brings a more passive mind. And it's like, whoa, that was pretty cool. I thought it was cool anyway. Yeah, because when I'm sitting and I'm not doing anything, I'm kind of like really observing, and I'm like having little conversations with the birds in my head, and I'm having like an inner narrative. Although I am just sitting and being, and I'm not actually doing anything, the brain is more active. So yeah, the different forms of meditation have been really cool. And then the other thing that we wanted to pick up was running. Now, I don't like running very much. My body is not made for running at all. I can walk for miles, I can walk for days, I can walk like no shoes on, I can walk with heavy backpacks, I can walk in the rain. Like walking does not bother me whatsoever. The second that I have to like speed it up, it becomes, my body starts to fight it and resist it, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Why am I running? This is horrible. Like why is my body so heavy? Why does it seem so hard to just lift my legs up? My brain starts doing all this stuff. Like I really admire people that can just run, and it's like not a problem. Like for me, running is really difficult. I've always found running really difficult. But my son started to sort of like hint at wanting to go running, wanting to increase his cardio, and sort of like work on his breath work and like sort of his lung capacity, because he's just given up smoking as well, which is amazing. Well, I'd just given up smoking like, a while ago. Anyway, but he wanted to increase his lung capacity, and so I was like, okay, let's do it together then. Because I know he's not going to, I definitely know he won't go out on his own and do it. And just for, neurodiverse reasons, issues and all kinds of social things. And so I was like, right, come on, we'll do it together. And again, it was like one of those where I was like, well, how am I going to fit this into my day with all the, you know, the appointments that I have and the admin, like, and all the chasing up of stuff and the keeping up on top of stuff, and like just the whole thing, the whole life thing of like being a parent, being a carer, attending like multiple like hospital appointments a week, and like just trying to fit everything in. It was just like, okay, I'm not going to say that I don't have time. When can I do this? Right, dog walk. That's what I would normally do every day. Right, what we'll do then is when, you know, when the dawning stuff is done, we'll go running together, and we'll take Athena. All right, so I think we go about 4 to 5 times a week. Depends on, like, you know, again, like if something crops up, or just if body is struggling, like my son's sort of really struggling that day, we won't go. You know, I've got an appointment like that happens to be stupidly early, and it's like it's not going to happen. But on average, it's about 4 to 5 times a week, and taking Athena with us. I mean, it's difficult with her because she likes to stop and sniff. So we do this whole like, we'll run, and then we'll let her have her little bit, and then And again, I was losing time to forage because I was doing that. I used to go out with Athena, and then I used to forage while I was with her. But because we're running, we weren't doing it. I was like, right, I need to start implementing that into the little chill space that she has. So that's how we implemented that. So this whole like, I don't have time, like, didn't exist, because it's like, right, I'm still doing the dog walk, we're getting a run in, and if we let her do her little like sort of 15-20 minute sniff around, I can then forage in those times. And I was getting my son to help me, so I was getting like double the amount, which like sort of, well, not double the amount, but in the sort of space of time. So I was getting the same amount, but in like half the time. That's better, yeah. And so I've been trying to sort of like implement new things that are like good for me, but it has meant less passive time. And I think it's really healthy to do that. It's really healthy to change your routine up, and like engaging with Ramadan, what I talked about, that reset, like having that time and that sort of enforced period of change where it wasn't because I wanted to change, it wasn't because somebody else was changing, it was just the circumstances meant that my day changed. It helped me to sort of reset and see, okay, well, what more things can I be doing? Like, what can I sort of implement into my day that's going to help my body? You know, what's going to... And it's been really, really helpful, like really, really helpful, and enjoyable, actually, like changing that and not sort of resenting, like, well, I don't get my time to just sit in the garden now, and like seeing it as I am still being in the garden, I'm just doing different things. Rolling. And it has, I would definitely say that like all the different things, I mean, the running, I'm so proud of myself because I don't like running. Like, please drop in the comments, like, if you feel the same, like, so I don't feel alone. I don't like running, and I don't understand how people can enjoy running, but I do get that that's me and that's not everybody else. But yeah, I'm not a runner. But we've actually, you know, been running further for longer. You know, we've been taking less breaks, we've been running faster, we've been running with weighted vests on. It's been pretty cool to see that sort of progress, and like seeing how far, looking forward to seeing how far that can go. And one of the things that I also wanted to implement, are you gonna interfere now? One of the things that I did want to implement was learning a new language. Now, so I do a lot of work on my body, because it's mainly my body that struggles with the fibromyalgia. But I don't know if you know anybody that has it, or if you have it yourself, you will be aware that there's this thing called brain fog. Now, brain fog is like pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's, you know, alongside the neurodivergency as well, it can make me appear like I have a complete inability to organise myself, to remember anything, to learn anything new. And it's not the case. It's just like, especially if I have a flare-up, the inability to sort of organise anything or think about anything that's not right now, like it doesn't exist. It's quite difficult, and like so I can get asked a question and I'm like, I don't know, like what have you got to do today? And it's like, I don't know, and I need to like literally write everything down. And so I thought that maybe learning something would be a good idea. And I've always said, I could never learn a language. Like I'm just not made for languages. So I was like, right, let's change that narrative. Let's change it. Let's like completely change that narrative. I can learn a new language. So we decided to learn Spanish as a family, doing it together, which has been pretty cool because then like we're sort of encouraging each other. There's an incentive. We've been learning on Duolingo, which has actually made learning a language really accessible, because we get to like sort of nudge each other, we get to encourage each other, send messages, we get to have like little tournaments where we sort of have quests and compete, and it's been like really cool. I think we've been doing it for just over 2 months now. I think I'm on like a 67-day streak, which like, woo! And yes, that's like over 2 months, right? And I'm really enjoying it. And actually, I never thought I would enjoy learning a new language, but I actually really like look forward to like doing it. And it does mean I'm on my phone, but like, you know, swings and roundabouts. If it's made it accessible, like I'm not going to complain, because it has made it very, very accessible, and I'm enjoying learning. I'm enjoying learning a language, and I was actually enjoying learning Spanish so much that I decided to start learning a second language, and which is Welsh, because I did actually start learning Welsh about, how old am I now? It would have been about 8 years ago. Oh, blimey, about 8 years ago I started trying to learn Welsh, because I got married to a Welsh person, and I thought it would be really cool to start learning Welsh, and yeah, that didn't turn out very well. As you can see, I'm not still married to this Welsh person. So, but yeah, enough. That's not really important. But I decided that I actually did really enjoy the Welsh language, like the sound of it and how it like sort of felt in my mouth, and so I was like, do you know what? If I've been doing this well with Spanish, surely I can learn Welsh at the same time. So I'm now learning 2 languages, which I don't know how well that's going to go. I've only been learning Welsh for like about a week or 2, maybe, or 2 weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. If it starts like becoming an issue, I'll just drop back to the Spanish. Yeah, it's been like life has been really, really busy, and sort of trying to fit in a lot more things, but still keep it meditative and still keep it so that I have like brain space and time to decompress and time to process like my emotions and my day and my interactions. And I have been trying to sort of do more performing and more sort of engagement with community groups, and I'm actually kind of struggling with that a little bit, in the interests of authenticity. Like it's the peopling that's the problem. Like they're having to engage with so many different beings, and each being in itself is a whole universe, like, and sort of engage with different people like in different environments, and that has been quite difficult. And not that I haven't enjoyed it, and I haven't enjoyed, you know, like engaging in sort of rallies and demos and community action, and sort of, you know, giving to the community garden. It is kind of leaving me somewhat scattered, I have noticed. So that's one thing that I'm going to try and reel back in a little bit and spend less time doing things with those, which is okay. I dipped my toe to see how that would feel, and it was a no. It's like, okay, maybe just, you know, one thing. Maybe just put your attention on one thing. Yeah. And I suppose that's what I really wanted to talk about today, was like how I've managed to implement some new routines and how they've made me feel, and like trying to sort of give myself compassion, like with the smoking, trying to like at the time not beat myself up about it and just see it as something that I, you know, was a then thing. It was, you know, nothing is forever, everything passes, and this is just what you're doing right now. This is a habit right now that is helping you get through this. You know, I suppose there's all manners of ways of getting through, but try not to be attached to it and like, oh well, now I'm a smoker and this is really bad and now I'm going to really struggle to give up. It's like, okay, this is something that's really helping me now. Oh, hello aunt. This is what's helping me now, and seeing it as a not forever. And so at the moment, my daily routine is pretty intense. Like, it's not as restful, which has meant that I've not been able to do the dawning live meditation because I'm not really in one place, like sitting. I have considered just trying to find a day when I'm not really doing much, like maybe a Sunday, and doing it then, because I have actually missed them. I've really missed doing those. Like, it's such a different energy when you guys engage with that live meditation. Like, it's definitely felt and it's definitely appreciated, and it is lovely having you as part of that, and sort of, yeah. Or maybe even like just setting the camera up in a space where you can see the whole garden and you just watching me potter around and doing my cold plunge. That's been pretty cool. One of the other things as well, like, so I try to like either do yoga or a workout each day, and there have been times when obviously there's the running as well, like I'm not fitting in a workout as well as, like, I wanted to start getting more firewood, because there is loads of wood around here. I was like, well, if I'm going to be having a fire pit and I want to like sort of be outdoors more, like in this garden, if I want to spend more time out here, because as much as I used to sleep outside in the old house, like the garden was frequented by foxes, so it would sometimes when they were doing the rounds in our garden, it was actually impossible to sleep. Like, they would just be in the garden, like shouting and screaming and laughing, and just being in, like, my presence there was made no difference. I'd be lying there and I'd be like like seeing if they'd go away, and like the amount of times I'd have to come inside and I can't sleep out there, it's too loud, it's too noisy. But there's no foxes in the area that I live now, so I can sleep out all the time, which means more firewood. Obviously I don't want to buy firewood, and like, it's quite labour intensive to get lots of small logs. So we've been, me and my son, like on our runs, have been sort of spotting where there's been a lot of tree felling, and they've kind of like left big massive chunks of wood. And it's like, okay, how can we incorporate getting that home as well as doing all the other things? Okay, so these are the backpacks we've been carrying back with logs in. We take a saw out with us, and we saw up the dead wood that we find into manageable pieces. We carry it back in our backpacks. Yesterday we carried these, one each, and this piece of wood. So me and Leo carried this back yesterday with our backpacks full. We carried it together. And I carried this back today on the way back from our run and our dog walk. I carried this back about 3/4 of a mile. It's not as hard as it looks actually once it's balanced on your hip. Yeah, but that should be some fun axing. Done. So this is the wood we've been collecting so far. I'm pretty happy with it. We've been burning loads as well, to be fair. Every night we sleep out here, we burn like a good few logs. We even found a chopping block that we brought back and that's been pretty useful. Yeah, and there's our little box of tinder and kindling. It's been pretty cool, like using the fire pit over there. We put like any bits of paper over the day that we don't need in there, and then that gets burnt at night. And yeah, we've still got got this pallet and some other wood that we need to process and sort through, and we've got these to get through. We've got another couple of massive like trunks that we found that we've put to one side as well, that we're going to go back and saw up and bring home. So fun times. At least it's like a free gym workout, right? This is today's haul. There we go. Yeah, so this is the big haul of wood we got today. We're doing pretty good actually. It's getting there. Woo! Got some other stuff here that I'm using for beds. And firewood and kindling and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, slowly getting filled. So on the days that we weren't running and we were sort of taking Athena, some days when like we were running, we would like go, oh, we've spotted that, and like let's move that over there, and so we would come back, we would saw it, which has been quite funny. We would saw it into sort of short enough chunks that we could put it in our bag, and then like run back with that on the days that we weren't using weighted vests, or carry it, like if we couldn't get through it, if it was too big, like, or if it was carryable, carrying that back, like I think it's a good 3/4 of a mile back to the house. I think this cracks me up. A good 3/4 of a mile back to the house, and so like that is like, okay, I don't need to do yoga and a workout today if I've been carrying that back. And so just trying to like not be quite so, well, I don't, you know, that I want to do yoga, trying to see me carrying the wood back as being yoga, and being like, okay, so if I make sure my posture's correct, I'm engaging all these sort of muscles, and I'm holding the wood in a certain way, and I'm working on my breathing, that's technically yoga. So just trying to mix it up a bit so I can fit all these different things in, and I've like been really pleased with how much wood we've managed to collect for free. It's like been really cool. Like my son's really enjoyed like axing it as well. I had a little go, but he really wanted to do it, so I thought I would leave him to do that. It's actually a really good workout, axing wood. And some of them like were so long that we couldn't saw them in half, and we couldn't split them because they were so big. So he's been like axing them in half, and like, you know, watching him get all his teenage aggression, his testosterone out onto that has been pretty cool. Yeah, and so it's been pretty. It's kind of meant as well that I've not really had capacity to make as many videos like this. This is why I kind of wanted to take a day off today and just go out. No gardening, no foraging, no, like, you know, I did the thing this morning. I did the cold plunge and the run, and taking a out now, and did all the stuffs before I came back out. But the rest of the day is relaxing, being. It's going to be really difficult when I get home. I've sort of tried to find ways to shut off a little bit, like when I'm on the bus. So like I was talking about learning the language, I've implemented that, because I used to do the same. I don't have time to learn a language. I don't have time to sit down and learn. I've been doing it on the bus. Like whenever I go into town and I go on the bus, or if, you know, if I don't do it on the bus, I do it sort of like last thing at night, when I'm like sitting down and the kids are sort of decompressing and chilling. I'm doing it then. And the other thing that I've been doing with that is like on my bus journeys is reading. Like I'm trying to find more time to read, which is sort of been really nice because it's given me something different to bond with. Like the kids used to read all the time when they were kids. Like they were always in books. Like before they had phones, they were always reading. Like they would get through so many books, and like at the time I was slightly envious because I did that thing. I don't have time to read. But now I'm sort of doing that thing, trying to find ways to read where it's like in my day and it's giving us something else to talk about and bond over, and yeah, trying to sort of find those little snippets of time when I can like not, and I don't want to sort of like promote like, oh, we should make every minute like, you know, busy, because we shouldn't actually. There's massive like benefits to being able to just sit and not do anything, and like people aren't given enough time to do that, enough time or space, you know, to just sit and like be bored and just look at the grass. And I suppose that's why I was really reluctant to give up my dawning meditation, and like, because I find it that it's not given enough value in society. But there were all these things I wanted to do, and it was like I didn't want to keep doing the whole I don't have time narrative. Like I wanted to change it. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've noticed a lot of cool health benefits from the cold plunging and the intermittent fasting. Maybe I will go into those. I'm aware that this video has been going on a little bit now. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, share all the ways that I've been, you know, I suppose talk about why I've been a little bit quiet on my videos. I've not been sort of doing any sit-down videos, and I still haven't gotten around to doing the wall yet. I kind of wanted to do that as like a proper feature, and I've just not. I've been busy doing other things, and I wanted to sort of use something from the garden, and maybe do like a beetroot one, or try to find dyes. I think there was like daisy was going to be one. Daisy's a good like dye source, and like beetroot. So I am still considering doing, well, I'm not considering, I am definitely going to be doing the dyeing of the wool. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. And that's that, really. Right. I'm going to try and pick up where I was, because Athena knocked the camera over and I can't quite remember whereabouts I was, but I was wrapping up. Basically, I was saying thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, just thank you for the sharing of it, all the things. Like, it's been quite surreal actually. Over the last couple of months, I've sort of found, you know, myself in a venue, and like somebody's sort of gone, oh, hello, I subscribed to your channel, and I'm like, oh, no way. So yeah, I really enjoy your videos, and like I put them up and I don't really think about it quite a lot, and then somebody contacted me and they were like, oh, it was quite funny, like, you know, I came across your video and it was really cool, and then like I'm sure I know you from somewhere. And yeah, I've seen you like walking around your local town, and like I don't live that far from you. It's like, you know, just funny things like that. It's pretty funny. But it's just nice to know that, you know, the videos are getting out to the people that enjoy them and like them. And so yeah, I wanted to say a massive big thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you if you've subscribed. If you haven't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, 2 buzzards. I don't get distracted. And for your contributions and your donations, like, I mean contributions in the way of like giving me tips like in the comments, and like for like correcting me. Sometimes people have corrected me on like, you know, sort of me not knowing something, or I've asked you for like, does anybody know this, and you've like given me information. I've learned so much from you guys. I've learned just as much as, you know, you've like learned from me, maybe even more. And yeah, I'm really grateful, and thank you for all your donations. Like, I've been overwhelmed by just everybody's kindness, and it was quite funny actually. So I know I was doing some videos about the putting out prayer requests and just going, oh, I could really do with this, and like then I would step out my front door and like all the things that I'd asked for would like literally be within a 5-minute walk, and like people were throwing them out, and all manners of things, skips full of stuff. I had to actually kind of stop. I mean, to be fair, it got to the point where I'd pretty much been gifted everything that I'd said I'd needed. And then when I started like sort of changing my habits and my routines, like, and I was sort of putting more things into my day, I did notice that I was having like sort of less capacity to make these sit down videos where I'm just chatting and just, you know, just being. And I recognized in that moment actually that sort of how much time and effort and energy and capacity was needed in order to make these videos, you know. And it wasn't just about the time and the energy. It was like, well, these are my skills and my knowledge, and I'm putting it out there, and this is taking a portion of my day away, and then I'm like editing the videos. And, you know, with sort of like, for me, my fibromyalgia quite often means I don't want to sit on my phone, and I don't want to sit on my computer, and I don't, you know, want to have to think about like those kinds of things. So it does take energy. And so that was the point where I started sort of like writing in my description, you know, if you enjoy the content, you know, please feel free to contribute, and if not, thank you for and I pointed out, I think there's it's about 6 weeks ago maybe. I don't know. I lost track of time. Hey guy, you're a cool spider. Look, it's there. You don't sniffing. Pointed out that I really needed a microphone. Like, so the microphone that I've been using had broken. I couldn't. It was on and off, and it was making it really difficult. And it did kind of mean that I wasn't able to make sound healing videos, which had sort of frustrated me a little bit because I really enjoy making those. If you've subscribed to my other, or you've seen my other channel, you might have seen that I make sound healing tracks and sort of videos for like visual meditation and relaxing and like nature sounds. They're very pretty. I enjoy making them anyway. And so that meant that I wasn't able to do those, and I was getting a little bit frustrated, and it's like, right, okay, I recognise that in order to make these things, like maybe actually the value of them is worth noting. So I put in my description that I would appreciate some contributions. And I think within 2 days, maybe even less than that, like somebody messaged me and was like, oh, I've just read that you need a new microphone. Well, I've actually got one spare that I'm not using if you would like it. And I was like, no way. So yeah, so I'd like to give a big shout out specifically for the microphone. Funnily enough, thank you, Mike, for the mic. You do not realise how amazing that is for me, like how like awesome that's going to be able to start making sound healing videos again. Like I've really missed doing that. Yeah, and that's not just for me. Like making the sound healing videos, that has ripples. Like other people are going to hear those and have a chance to relax and meditate and do all the things. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of all of your contributions and your donations and your interaction with the channel. It really means a lot. It's definitely been a big sort of valuable part of my life, this channel. Being able to chat and interact with sort of people that have been through similar things or like are interested in what I've got, and like there's ripples. It's all ripples. We can't ever predict how far our ripples go. So yeah, thank you so very much. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful space and seeing kind of what I've been up to while I've kind of been a little bit absent on the chatting. And yeah, I will definitely be getting around to doing an update on the garden. I promise. So many people have been asking me, like, how's your garden doing? Like, is everything growing? Like, how's it doing? Like, I promise you I will be doing an update on that soon. A full update, because it's just been phenomenal. I've been so happy with it. I'm so blessed. Anyway, take care, be well, be in love and be in joy, and yeah, don't let time stop you from doing things. Find other ways of doing them. Feed two birds with one piece of bread is kind of like been my narrative, really. Yeah, feeding two birds with one piece of bread. Somebody that I knew once gave me that saying as a sort of a vegan version of killing two birds with one stone, and I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I'm very grateful to her for giving me that change of perspective, and that's kind of what I've been doing. My narrative has been feeding two birds with one piece of bread. So yeah, let's see how you can do that, and let me know, what have you been doing? Like, have you managed to pick up any new habits? Have you dropped any sort of habits that weren't serving you? Like, has your routine changed? Is it a collective thing? Is everybody just changing what they're into and what their habits are? I'd be really interested to know. So yeah, thank you. I love you very much. I love you. I do. It is. Oh, baby. Come on down, baby. Come on, move. Right, thank you. Come on, lie down. Come on. Yeah. Lie down. Got a bit stuck in your coat. Right, you got all things. I'm going to stop knocking the camera now. Yeah? Oh, you're just going to get in the way? Come on, move over here. Come on. This way, baby. Good girl. Yeah, it's beautiful and perfect. Really? Come on, move. Athena, please move. Heel. Thank you, baby. Right, look. Okay, if I do that, you're in the shade then, right? Now, I have been... Do you mind? Really? Can you come this way, please? Oh. You're such a tart. Engaging with what I was seeing and what I was observing. Don't knock the camera, no. Athena, Athena, come this side. Come on, this way. Thank you. Come this side. Good girl, thank you, thank you. Loud and hey girl. Raven. And so I had to kick that. It was trying to find the balance of being gentle with myself. Athena, can you? It's turning into the Athena show. Come on, this way. So I had to try trees growing, and it's really nice. It's really nice. Please don't knock the camera. Thank you. Free. No, you're not going over. Thank you. You can stay here with me. Good girl, thank you. Good girl, thank you. Oh, there's going to be so many little blooper things and cuts in this video. Myself up a lot over that, but really, fine, that's okay, you can be there, thank you. Incorporated. Do you want to come this way, baby? Yeah, come this way. Thank you, darling. The demo is helpful. And yeah, and it actually had stopped me. Have you finished? Have you finished? No. I love you so very much. Careful, if you're in your eye, that's a sharp one, that one. Have you quite finished? Oh. Should we get going? Should we go? Yeah? Should we get going?